Hi, this is Athena StarSeed, and we are right now doing a live Zoom call with Evolutionary Astrologer Leti Stiles. She is also an artist, a life coach, an author, a workshop leader. She works with women with PTSD. And I specifically asked her to comment really on what is happening globally right now, because as above, so below, the earth is going through changes, and we can see those changes in the forecast of our celestial bodies. So Leti, tell us a little bit about you and tell us what's happening on the planet.
Hi, I'm Leti, and a little bit about me. Well, I think I've been down the spiritual road since I was 17. So I've studied a lot of different metaphysical subjects and trained to become a therapist. I became a hypnotherapist after being in the corporate world for about 30 years. For the past 10 years, I'm working with people, coaching them, assisting them with shamanic practices, astrology, and just a variety of tools. So when we were having a conversation yesterday, when Athena called me to say, what's going on in the sky? It's very simple. We have been talking in astrology for a long time with the conjunctions that happen in January and the eclipses, which told us that we were going to have a system breakdown of all the institutions that we have relied on. And I'm not going to get into astrologies, but in January, we had a concentration of planets in Earth sign of Capricorn, which rules our institutions, politics, corporate and business structures. Everything that we're seeing right now failed. As we talked about this as astrologers for many years, we knew the impact was going to be big because we knew that system failures were going to happen. We knew that economics were going to change, and banking, and food was going to be also the food system and food supply would be there. And we've been seeing natural disasters, and a lot of these areas have been coming into our awareness, right? The food, money changing, not being able to rely on our government, just everything kind of breaking down. We have been feeling it. So in January, when the eclipse came with the concentrations of we had 7 planets during the eclipse, which meant there was a lot of concentration. And we still have a lot of concentration of Earth planets. A lot of the planets are on one side, and there's a lot of aspects, and what that means is their relationship. There's a lot of relationships that are going in, conversations between the planets. And this is all to help us evolve. However, it doesn't feel this way when our system and the world we know it is falling apart. So what I can say is that we are going through a collective purge at all levels. So life as we know it definitely is changing and will change and will be different. So as astrology tells us what's going on, it cannot predict how these events are going to unfold. It could give us the weather and kind of give us an idea. But again, sometimes the weather is not predictable, as human beings are not predictable. So what is happening now when everything is breaking down, we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel because we've relied on these systems. And even though we knew they were not working, not everybody had that awareness. Because
one second, Leti, you told me yesterday you did have a little bit of an awareness. Your psychic skills getting to the Costco. Can you just talk about that? Your intuition?
Yes, I don't watch the news, but I was meditating before taking my son to work, and something said to go to Costco, and I had already been shopping Tuesday, and I was trying to conserve money, but not going to the store constantly. So I dropped him off, and I said, okay, go. And I said, I will not stay if I can't find parking or if I see a line. I got parking immediately. The line, I didn't even wait. We were just in line getting inside. I got everything that I needed. Then I said, okay, I'm going to Trader Joe's. If I don't find parking, I will not stay. Found parking right away, right in front, which is never possible in Trader Joe's. It was a little more of a mayhem, but everybody was in a good mood. People were shopping. By 3 o'clock, I was on my way home, and I said, wow, that was amazing. But then when I came home and started to interact with people and see what was happening, I felt very much guided, that I had been guided. And I listened, because lately I have been surrendering to whatever spirit is telling me.
And
Because
I think that's what a lot of people right now are starting to tune into, is when we slow down. I mean, you do psychic work, and so do I for a living. However, when people slow down, they have the ability to then hear those little whispers to go here or to make this phone call. I mean,
right.
yesterday, I want to jump in and say I was on a hike. I was doing 6 miles, and a girlfriend of mine said, hey, I got some inside information here that they might be shutting everything down by midnight tonight. So you might want to go and drop some things off. Now, normally also I don't watch the news. So that came to me, and it changed the rest of my day. I got to go to the 99-cent store. I got to go to the grocery store. I got to go to Bed Bath & Beyond and get candles and essential oils. And I went to the Psychic Eye, and I got my incense and my Palo Santo, and I got sage, and all the things I use in my home to keep the aura of the house, just like my fasting is keeping the aura of my body clear, so I can get more messages.
Right. So what happened with me when I came home, I was already sensing certain things. So I started doing some digging. I also love to do research, and I knew, I felt it. Within an hour, a friend called me and said, I have it by a good source that we're going to go on lockdown. And I said, oh my God, okay. And I started to have my own reaction. And I was monitoring that during the week as I was getting my herbal supplies and my supplements, and I got informed, and I went, and you know what, every step of the way, I was
You're guided.
giving little breadcrumbs, you know, from out of the norm. Breadcrumbs were coming in.
I think maybe you might want to move your necklace, because it's giving us feedback with your phone, because we're getting a little static. Yeah, put that in the back. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's my selenite. Anyway, so I felt like, you know, things were happening, and I started to see the gravity of things. I felt it. And so I went through my own process, my own triggers. And what I started to realize by Sunday, now that everything was full scale on, and I had already gathered all my information, I had done all my research, slowly the breadcrumbs were showing up, and I was following them. I realized that we were in a collective panic, fear wave. You know, when people that were becoming aware, they were going to the survival part of it. And what I realized for me, that the collective is experiencing all the unconscious, subconscious material, the fear of survival, the fear of being alone, isolated, not having money, all those things that is natural for us. And that's exactly what the astrology had been predicting, but it didn't tell us how that was going to show up.
But how long have you known, though? How long have you known astrologically that we were going to restructure the banking, the government, religion? How long have you known that?
3-4 years.
Wow.
About 4 years. 4 years. This talk has been going on for a long time in the astrological community. And last year, all we could talk about was 2020, even though we were in 2019. So we knew that. Can you
tell people briefly what evolutionary astrology means for those people who don't know before you go into it?
It's just a branch of astrology. Astrology is a very large arena with a lot of different other types, many different types. Evolutionary astrology really focuses on the evolution of the soul. So we're looking at the soul purpose, the karmic imprints, the things that we bring back from other past lives, things that have not been resolved. And so we're working a lot with the South and North node, as they do in Vedic astrology. So we're looking at what past influence and karma have we brought forth to this lifetime in order to clear it, heal it, and move towards our South node, which is what we're here to learn, what we're here to evolve to. So it's very soul-based, and it's a wonderful practice. I really love it when I work with people. we go right to the core of the issues. And the beautiful thing that I see evolutionary astrology as a map to consciousness, your consciousness, what you chose to work on in this lifetime. And we may see all the issues that don't get resolved, but within the astrology, there's always the solution. There's always the way out. There's always an arrow pointing towards your own evolutionary cycles and what you can do to clear that so that you can become aligned with why your soul was here, not your personality, your soul. So that's what evolutionary astrology does. And we always say it's not relevant if we don't correlate it to the individual or what's happening in the moment. And in the moment, we're experiencing an evolutionary collective purge. So if fear is coming up, okay, sometimes I'm aware, because I'm also past life regressionist, that some of the stuff that I was dealing with, Tina, I knew some of the reactions that I had nothing to do with my current reality, because I feel I'm safe, I'm provided for. I started to focusing on the present moment because I was reading, and I have been informed about all the conspiracy theories on all the different sides, but I started to consume more of it, right? I mean, Friday, I was just like taking in all this information, and I could feel so much tension in my body. This is when I realized by Sunday night, after I was receiving amazing messages from friends, that what I was reacting to was past life stuff, some work that I had been doing since last year. So I recognized, like, oh, this has nothing to do with my current life. My current life is great. I have food. I have my family with me. We're okay. I'm not going to worry right now. I started to focus on the present moment.
The present moment. That's exactly what I'm saying. All we have right now is the present moment. And presently, most of us have reprioritized what's important in our present, which is what you said, our families, our shelter, our communities, and our loved ones.
And that's right now Venus in the second house of Uranus, okay, with Uranus there. And the second house is ruled by Taurus, and that has to do with our security, what we value, what's important, our material possessions, our banking system, our money, the stock market, food supplies, the new technology that's coming in to help us with medicine. So we knew all those things in astrology would be happening, but we had no idea how that was going to show up. It's showing up very intensely because as a collective, we must purge the social toxins as well as the disempowering programming and conditioning that we have been under for many, many generations. So this is not just your life right now. This is generational and collective. And if you're an empath or sensitive, you're feeling it. And if you're not as sensitive and you're just a normal person that has never entertained any spiritual practice or any of that, people are waking up. This is going to be a big wake-up call. But the wake-up call is like the rude awakening, getting cold water on your face, and then opening your eyes and realizing, wow, this is where I'm living, because this is how I've been feeling for the past 2 years. Like, I don't recognize this timeline. How did I get here? So many of us may be feeling that and not knowing what to trust. And so, you know, I want to get into all the conspiracy theories or the theories about the coronavirus and who did what to all the blame and shame that's going on with politics. What I know is that if I sit down and listen to my intuition, I was told Friday, you will know the truth. So when I'm praying and meditating and I'm feeling something come up, this is what I ask. Show me peace. Show me what this is about. So I ask Spirit to show me the way so that my higher self, when I'm meditating, gives me the information, because, you know, my human self and ego self is reacting and responding according to my conditioning that is buried in my subconscious. So when we're having people hoarding it's natural. It's normal. They're getting triggered. For me, it's triggered from a past life where I died of starvation. So I went into action, right? And I had plenty of food and I had plenty of medicine. After I knew my security and my safety was taken care of, then I started to realize, wow, look at what you're doing, you know, and why are you doing this? And I started to become aware that I was in that condition pattern from that past life.
Right.
And I felt so responsible. I was, you know, feeling this uptightness that I had to get it together and like now, because I was buying into everything that I was consuming.
I know, and I
And
think a lot of people too, that now that they understand that this is an opportunity for transformation, and it's also an opportunity to raise out of our adolescent spirituality and go higher
absolutely,
into our sage. And a sage, you know what I'm saying? A sage is going to give, you know, wisdom and their practical application. Like you were saying to me yesterday, it's the actions of our integrity that are present that the children in our community sees. You know what I'm saying? Like sharing the toilet paper, allowing people to be encouraged in the line, communicating with our brothers and sisters as they're on the street, you know, not shoving and pushing. And we don't have to bring out the worst in humanity. We can
no.
bring out the best.
You know what I saw yesterday? I'm seeing it more and more, that people are open to receiving more. You know, I've been very thankful and I've been thanking people in the store, and I've been, you know, I have felt such gratitude for everything that they're doing and how they're keeping it together. And I feel that people are much more open right now because they want to feel hope. But I also think we have to give each other room to have the meltdowns. And what I put on Facebook the other day is I have a student and he's autistic and I've been teaching him for 2 years. And he was having a meltdown because he is sensitive to the energetic. It's very obvious. He's always very sequestered. He is sensitive to his environment. And on that day, he had 3-4 meltdowns, which is very rare. And that means on the floor, screaming and kicking and crying. And I had to sit there with him and hold space into his overwhelmed past, and then just coaxing him, come on, let's keep painting. And then he would do it. He did it a couple of times, but then and then I saw that every time that he had a little meltdown over, I don't know what it was. We didn't know. And I've seen him have meltdowns. They were shorter. And then finally they were gone and he was able to concentrate to paint.
So
As
that's
human
like a
beings,
detox. It's like a detox when you let the emotional
you got it. Yes.
And purge. So we do, as humanity, have to allow ourselves the community space and time to share emotionally what's happening so that we can release it. Because what's been happening, because we've been so busy, is people have not been feeling your feelings. And in that state where you're not feeling your feelings, that's when your karma gets backed up, and that's when you jack up your immune system, and that's how it's hard for you to fight any virus or even a common cold, because you haven't been emotionally intelligent.
So let's talk about that. While I was having that difficult time and things were getting triggered, and believe me, I was handling them as they were coming up, I realized that not only was that happening, but I was going, oh, I have my throat, I have a headache, this hurts, that hurts. You know, all of a sudden I started to feel that. And I was going, is it because I've been crying? Is it because I've been upset? Is it because I've been, you know, just feeling everything? And I started to really, you know, load my body with superfoods and vitamins and all that. But what I noticed by Sunday night, when I finally relaxed, Monday I woke up much better.
So
because
you had your own detox. You were detoxing.
Yeah, I was detoxing. The stress of it all was making me feel like I'm gonna get sick. What am I gonna do? You know, and I was going, no, you're not gonna get sick. So what I want to tell you is that one of the crumbs that came in, I saved something on Facebook about talking to our bodies and ourselves and how they respond to consciousness and words. So I did the meditation on Sunday night, talking to my body and my cells and sending them love and telling them that they're healthy, that they can release the toxins, that it's safe to release the toxins, and that they're really healthy. And I started to infuse my cells with love and light and health. And I think that's important that we do right now. This time of going within is not punishment, is not because we should be afraid. It's because the whole world is moving into an ascension process, right. And we cannot ascend if our vibratory rate and frequency is that of fear. It stops our ability to move into the next phase of evolution that we're doing together. It doesn't matter if you've been a meditator for 50 years or if you meditated for the first time this weekend. We all are in it together, and we all need to raise our vibration together.
So let's talk a little bit about where the planets are, because I wanted you to talk about like what, like you said, Saturn and Pluto, and we were talking about Mars.
Okay, so let's talk about. You mentioned something about sage, being sage and growing up. That's Saturn. Okay, Saturn's asking us to take self-responsibility, to mature, to be practical, and to slow down, because all the earth signs are about slowing down. Right now, as of yesterday, Saturn moved into Aquarius, okay? Aquarius is all about the collective and about the groups, about technology, but it's also going into processing our analysis from a more detached way, seeing it from a higher vision collectively. So Saturn is asking us to move into that maturity and our inner wisdom when it comes to the collective, okay? And then we have Pluto. And Pluto is not moving from, it's been there since 2008 in Capricorn. And this is sound live, sustainable, or serving us. So Pluto, the part that disintegrates those things, the detoxer. It detoxes us at all levels, because nothing new can be born when things are not working for us. So it's been there since 2008. He's at the later states of Capricorn. So Pluto also will bring up our fears, our deepest fears from the subconscious, from past lives, okay? It also has to do with power. Who has the power and who doesn't have the power? Are these themes beginning to sound familiar?
Yes, they are.
So the concentration is there.
Power. The people.
Right, so this is what...
Soul power. The soul power that powers the universe, the light of the sun that lives in every single being, is now being called forth to be expressed.
Right. Right, and now Jupiter is going to have a conjunction. And Jupiter is the planet of abundance and amplification, but it also has to do with education, foreign countries, and it has to do with our belief system, okay? By April 4th, Pluto and Jupiter will be conjunct in Earth. So what does this mean? It means looking at our belief systems that no longer are working, that no longer are serving us collectively. While Saturn is in Aquarius, the concentration is the collective. So the collective really moving through the system breakdown, looking at the belief systems, getting very clear what are our priorities. So this is very important that everybody finds out their priority individually. Because if you are feeling balanced every day in whatever situation you're going to be in, you'll be in a better situation to make good choices. So I was sharing with you yesterday what I discovered that were the most important things for me. Because I had to say, okay, what do you need, Leti? Okay, to stay balanced and not be in the future and listening to this. All those things are valid, great, but are they serving me? What I'm consuming? No. We have to be very aware what we're consuming, the words that are coming out of our mouths, what we're affirming by, it's not about being in denial, but do I want to constantly affirm negativity? No. So I have to find out what is it that I need on a daily basis. One, I need connection. I need to feel connected to other people. That's very important. I'm an extrovert, okay? So isolation doesn't sit well with me. Then I need to feel some level of creativity, whether I'm being creative in the kitchen with what I have, making soup, whether I'm in my art studio, whether I'm knitting something. Creativity is very important in my life for balance. Then the third one is opening my eyes first thing in the morning and seeing everything that I have, not what I don't have. So gratitude. Gratitude will always elevate you to a higher level, right? So we have to have that gratitude, that creativity, that connection. Those are the three things that I need to focus on a daily basis, not what's happening with Donald Trump, not with what's, you know, all those things. Yes, it's important to be informed, but I have to create my daily routine that supports me and that supports the people around me, you know, because we all are going to go through that purging and we all have different symptoms, right?
Let me jump in here for just a second. When we rebalance ourselves and ourself, what happens is we have to go into how many minutes a day are we going to exercise? How many minutes a day are we going to meditate? How many minutes a day are we going to actually create? And when we look at this big, huge, free, open space now, we can see that we have been out of balance. Most of our time clock in our 8-hour workaday world has been focused primarily on making money, making money, making money, making money, making money. And we realize that the earth doesn't care about money. The earth doesn't care about anything other than being in homeostasis, her own earth nature, and giving the earth a break. The pollution has gone down, the trees are regrowing, the animals are coming back out. Everything is being rebalanced because we're rebalancing. And so when anybody watching this right now, think about your life in balance. You see what I'm saying? So if you took, instead of working 12, 16-hour days, which is normal for the human society to go, 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 what if you guys actually put a schedule together and you had the balance time where an equal time was in meditation as it is out?
I agree with you. I think this is why we're going through this, because it's a reprioritization that as a collective, we get to see if we focus on negativity, what happens? If we focus and we see that sometimes there's blessings in disguise. And what I've learned all this time after 40 years of consuming spiritual information, workshops, experiences, all that it's better to be humble and keep it simple, because in fact, God's hand is always in our lives. And it takes us to stop to see the road we've been traveling, the miracles that we have created along the way, because we focus on, you know, the conditioned fear of materiality. It's showing us that materiality is creating all the stress in our lives. And here we are going to the stores to consume more, you know? No, there's plenty. There is plenty. And I want to believe that the goodness of people is coming out, will come out. I will bet more on that. Like when Vegas went dark, and I read this article, and it's like they're saying Sin City closes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Babylon towers, are falling down. We're being shown that there's more to the material consumerism, societal conditioning we've had for the past couple of decades. All right. So it's so much more important to be with our families, to love one another, to focus and be mindful about what's coming out of our mouths. you know, like not giving power that people are dying. Yeah, those things are happening, and they've been happening always in our lives. We've gone through this in different eras of our history. We've had pandemics, we've had the plague, humanity has experienced it all. And I wish we had the ancestors that we listened to. There's a few of them, and I've been listening to them for a long time. But now, in the past 10 years, I've seen a resurgence of people seeking out the indigenous elders because they have so much wisdom. They're trying to help us remember to go back to the mother, and more likely, I hope that we connect more to growing our own food, to what's sustainable. And it's not going to be going to Walmart anymore or going to Costco. It might be growing a garden. It might be connecting with other people that are doing the same thing. I think what's happening with Uranus in Taurus, we are going to connect deeper with the earth. We're going to learn to be more stable with our food supply, because we're also seeing the scarcity of things. We are going to be more grateful and hopefully be more mindful in how we use things and what we buy and what we use, and maybe share it more with other people. Because when this is over and the financial system comes back on, we really don't know what that's going to look like. So I think that right now we are learning valuable lessons, and we're also resetting. We're going through a reset. And I think it's a good news because, you know, I believe in China, word for disaster is opportunity.
Opportunity.
So we are
This is
right now, we could
opportunity.
decide
We're
what opportunity.
we're in an
what up-
open we're in an open phase, and I like to look at the Fool card with that 0. So when we have an opening, this is the time for our opportunity to actually say, okay, if we face our death, let's just face our death. Let's face our death and say, what does our life stand for? What are we here really to do? Can we look
Right.
at our life contract and say, really, am I living an intentional life? I mean, I had a little shirt made like a couple weeks ago that said, ask Athena, because I'd been putting off dreaming of another like sports line. I did a fitness line when I was doing my boot camps, and I had active motivational fitness wear. And now as an intuitive reader, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go find a cute little sweatshirt that I like. And I'm going to just start like playing with logos and playing with like art. And it gave me an opportunity to like take action on that. And now with everybody at home, and they get to say, what was that project I was going to do that I've been putting off for so long, that it's time to actually really do. And a lot of people, I want to say, they're going online with their businesses. They get to stay home with their children. I feel like I manifested this wonderful opportunity to be at home with my daughter, to do more readings online. I just got a call from New York. There's this new company out now it's called frequencymind.com. They had this huge dome in New York, and now all of the healers are going online. And so we get to recreate the way we interface with each other on a global level. It's a global village. You can now do astrological readings all over the world. You don't have to get on the freeway and have a huge a huge imprint.
Right.
Gas and the fossil fuel, and just how much time are we wasting? I spent 4 hours a day driving, Leti, my daughter to school and going back and forth to work.
Forth, yes.
And now I have that time back. It's an opportunity for me to be a better mother and to spend this glorious time with my daughter.
So here's an example of astrology relevance. Uranus going into the sector of materiality, of money, of how to make money. We are being asked to be creative in new ways because the system that was in place no longer works. So here's technology. It's been here, and now we get to use it at a higher level that's more beneficial to the family, to the planet, and we still can do our work. And it's very interesting that you said that we can start doing our work all over the world, because on Friday, when a friend of mine reached out to me, just having a little conversation on Facebook, she's in Australia, and she says, "Will you do my astrology?" And I said, "Yes, of course." So she sends me money, and I'm in the process of doing her astrology. How interesting. Would that have happened a month ago or 2 months ago? Maybe, but that was just like, wow, okay. These new opportunities are showing up for me. God's hand is in a lot of things in my life. I have a big commission, new way of doing art for me. This is a new avenue that's opened up, and now I have time to focus on it. And so the opportunity that we're being called to in this time where things are crumbling, what are you going to focus on creating? How are you going to redesign your life? Right now, if people are with their kids, what a beautiful time to really spend time with them without all that frenzy of, come on, get ready, get in the car, get your backpack. All the frenzy that we have had with our children. And I remember those times when I was a working mom, working 60 hours a week, trying to take care of my son, and I was single. So this time we have the luxury of working from home when many employers did not want their employees to work from home. Now the whole world's working from home.
I want to jump in here and say something. I have been praying that the Mystic Journey would let the readers read from home, because I actually drive in to Venice, 4 or 5 times a week, and I'm sitting there reading and waiting. And I said, listen, this is a huge business for you. Why don't you just let us read from our houses? And they're like, no, it's been a decade. Jeff, I'll never do it. I'll never do it. And I said, I bet you he will. I bet you he will. And I kept asking her and asking her. And last week I asked again, and she said, he's on vacation. I said, I think it's going to happen. I told the other readers, they're like, he'll never do it. And I go, listen, in my imagination, this is already done. And of course, on Wednesday, she sent out the email and she said, everybody can just call in, because they have a huge global outreach. And not only that,
Right.
About a month ago, I had taken my business. I have Ask Athena Intuitive Reading. So people call me from all over the world now and go through my website. However, I'm doing a Zoom call, Leti, on Mondays from 7 to 8 Pacific Coast time. And I'm channeling live for an hour, like an Esther Hicks. And then I'm doing live questions. So for as little as $10, people can get the live channel and interface with me, and I can channel directly to their soul mission. And that's something that I feel like, if women, this is the whole change in the feminine energy, women are here to nurture, and we do it naturally because that's our nature. Nurture nature, Mother Earth. We tune into that.
Right.
We're the cycles of the moon. We reflect that sunlight. And we have the ability to help people through these crises. And so 144,000 light workers are being called to the center stage right here, right now, to have their second birth and to midwife the people that haven't done their spiritual work, that are breaking down. Like, I get calls from my clients, what's going to happen to my stocks? What's going to happen to my home? What's going to happen to my payments? What's going to happen to my. And I say, what is the purpose of your life? What is your contribution? What is your service work? When you're on your deathbed and you're watching your Akashic records go right through your screen, what was the most important thing? It's not your stock portfolio.
Absolutely. And so the work that I do is helping people get into alignment with their soul work, right? So now that we're all home and we see that what the structures that we had no longer are reliable, don't focus. They're not coming back. They're gone. Thank you. You served us. And now
bye-bye.
We get to mature, okay, and really find out, why are we here? Are we here just to consume? Are we here just to be busy?
We have no idea.
Are you there?
No idea until you pause for a second. I was going to just finish what you're saying. We have no idea why we're here until we actually have, some of us, the crisis. The crisis is when they get the pause, the near-death experience, the disease, the death, the divorce. Then you start to contemplate and reflect, and you go into the hermit card.
Right, and and we're in the hermit. And soon, and we're now in the, yesterday was the equinox. It was a little earlier. okay, this year.
Mm.
But because this is an unprecedented year, I'm going to tell you that the purging and the transformation is going to go throughout 2020, 2021 through 2025. We are going to be restructuring everything as we've known it. So the human creative mind right now can be busy at visioning what kind of life do you want to have, what kind of relationships do you want to have, and all those things are important. But right now, give yourself that room to purge and allow it, but then know that that's not real. That's all the past, unhealed material. And then if you need assistance, there's a lot of people here to assist you. I'm here to guide you, and Athena and other beautiful light workers around you. So there is a lot of support, and it's an exciting time, and let's focus on the excitement of it. And I know it's hard to be at home, worried about your finances, worried about what's going to happen, feeling powerless, but that is not the truth. What is the truth about who we are? We are powerful, multi-dimensional, high vibrational beings. We can create what serves us to the highest and what serves other people to the highest. We have forgotten about it. This is why being inside altogether is asking us not to go binge on Netflix, binge on your family, binge on visioning your new life. Talk to people, talk to your kids and your husband about what you guys really dream of for your family, for your business, for your work. Because now, like you said, Tina, the possibility of not having to drive 4 hours, wasting your time with everybody else on the freeway and feeling the frustrations of everybody's stress while we're in the freeway. Now we get to be home. Now employers can't say, this won't work for us.
Right. So right now I want to look at the Hermit card. See this? Here's the Hermit.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we're at in the Tarot. We're at the Hermit card. You know what I'm saying?
And by the way, that's Saturn.
Yeah. So with this is about meditation, internal reflection, what's happening within us. And then I want to talk about this. This is the Death card. We are all asking to face an inner death. And some of us feel death. And guess what? We've been here for eons upon eons upon eons. Yes, energy is never created nor destroyed. We're going to continue to evolve. And sometimes the Tower card has to come in and break down the structures. They have to break down the norm, whatever people are used to doing. We have a pattern interrupt right now in our system where things are actually breaking down because we want that breakthrough. And here's another thing, the Devil card. The Devil card is asking us to look at our lower nature, our vices, our greed, our lust, our power, our inability to see the omnipresent view of how this is working for us instead of happening to us. We get out of the victim and we get out of these chains. See these little chains here? These little people are chained to this devil energy, which is just the aspect of us from our subconscious mind that says, listen, we have to grow up as a human race. And we do have to consider our brothers as ourselves. And we do have to consider the planet, our mother Gaia, as ourself. And this is the mirror I feel with this disease. We've been polluting our mother Gaia, and then all of a sudden now we're being polluted back. And we're only taking it serious because it's happening to us. Instead of saying, wow, gee, this has constantly been happening and nobody's been paying attention. You see what I'm saying? It was weird to be an environmentalist before. It was like, oh, you're weird if you're a tree hugger. And we've been saying, stop cutting down the trees of the planet. Stop putting things in the ocean. Look at the oil spills. We have been, as awake beings, standing up for Mother Earth for decades upon decades. Since the 60s, that's when you guys came in. And now finally, when we have an illness, now they're all going, oh my gosh, it's happening to me. It's in my face. Now I'm going to change. And I'm happy that this is happening for our human race because as I wear my wings, this is just a statement that yes, we are one with nature. And that takes us to the Zero Fool card. We're one with nature. We can walk through nature. We can walk off the cliff, through the cliffs, and say, we trust the light of divinity to shine through us so that we can see everything as an opportunity and not just cry about the adversity.
And very appropriate right now. We are at 0 with the astrological calendar. Okay. So it's a new year astrologically, and we are moving into new territory. Some of these conjunctions that we're going to be experiencing and some of the things that are happening planetarily have never happened. And if they have, we can look at the history of all those things. Okay. But here we are at a reset point. I found it very interesting that the reset point came in on the equinox, when Governor Newsom said, everybody stay home. It was like, we are resetting the systems, and, you know, people are panicking. Okay. And
Not here. I'm not panicking. No, I'm not.
No.
I want to be people.
No. Some people.
Some people.
Okay.
That are awake are panicking. Other people, this is the most exciting time to be alive. We've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this for decades.
Right. So what we have to help those people that are in that mode return to their center, and not by judging them, not by making fun of them. And, you know, and toilet paper is very interesting to me, because why is the population going crazy over the toilet paper? Think about it. We are releasing toxins of our bodies, and we don't realize that we don't need anything outside of us to help us with that. And so I think the toilet paper is a symbology of needing to feel control of the detox process, right?
I also think too, if just bowel movements in general is the past. If you ate, it's the past. So you're actually releasing
the past
from your system. You're letting go of the past, and even unwanted body weight. All fat is the past. Anything that you have on here that you haven't processed, you are going to now in the next 18 months start peeling off those layers that you don't need anymore, because your weight's the past and your poop is the past.
But you know what's very interesting, Tina? The past couple weeks, I've been releasing all this old material. Okay, I've been working deeper to the deep levels. Okay, that I've lost weight. Okay, that I have lost weight. I noticed that. I go, wow, how did that happen? Because I'm not focused on food until last week. Now I'm not even, you know, that concerned. Because you said the other day, if we run out of food, we could fast and we could detox our bodies. Wow, what a concept. We all get to be spiritual yogis, you know, because if food is disappeared, we're still going to survive. We're still going to, like, you're a breatharian in training, right?
Right. And listen, in every mystery school taught fasting. Every mystery school. In fact, some of the mystery schools, you had to fast 40 days before you were even admitted into the mystery school. So if those of you who are watching this, please look at the books, the Essene Gospels of Peace. And they're on YouTube for free, book 1 through 4. Now, I did that about 10 years ago, when I realized that all the esoterics, by the time you're 40, you were supposed to have had a 40-day fast. So I've done 4 40-day liquid fasts. And right now I'm on day 3, and I'm going to jump in and I'm going to go as much as I can. I'm going to listen to my body. At the same time, I already know I can do 40 days. Now, the water fast part, that's going to be my big jump, is to just water fast for 40 days. Because normally I just do liquids. However, what I want to say is this is the most opportune time to do the fast, because you don't have the pressure of the driving, the financial pressure, and you'll save money with the food, and you're going to heal your immune system. The healthiest thing that anybody can do right now is to go into intermittent fasting and 3 to 5 day fasts.
And that also means mind fast.
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. What are you consuming? What are you watching on Netflix? How much time are you spending on Facebook? So mindful diet of what you're putting into your system. what words you're using. So those are very important things, because we talked about being vibrational beings, and that, you know, right now some people are very concerned of the 5G and all these things we don't have control, these technologies that are coming that are not healthy for our bodies. But we forget that we're more than our bodies. Yes, we don't care for our bodies, but our bodies are the vehicles. We have to embody spirit in the body, okay? And we need to understand that everything is frequency and energy. And if I'm vibrating where I'm afraid, or in the lower densities, like you said, yeah, I'll probably get sick because I'm matching that vibration. But if I raise my vibration high enough, I am not going to be in alignment with diseases, with discordant energies that are around me, because we have the ability to raise our vibration and our frequency with how we think, our energetic focus. So if my focus is worry and fear and just consuming constantly without really understanding that I'm the gatekeeper of what's coming into my mind, body, and soul, I am in control, because I'm a multidimensional being with the power to direct my light, my frequency. And we have to become aware of that. And I think in this isolation part, that we're a hermit at the mountaintop, we get to be the ones that can hold the light for others. Our brothers and sisters that are in the darkness, that believe in greed, lack, control, domination, war, and pain. What we forget, that we're in the earth of duality, and that's the old paradigm. We're moving into a new paradigm. And the brothers and sisters that are still trying to hold on to these structures, they also need to come to the light. We also need to know that the darkness is part of the light, and it's also made up of love, okay? But the people that are in that darkness, in that nightmare, when we buy into their nightmare, we forget who we really are. So we have to be mindful not to go into their dream of darkness, of illness, of pain, of lack, of greed, of powerlessness. That's the dream of the dark. The dream of the light is going to be that we are vibrational beings, and the highest vibration is love and compassion and gratitude.
So what I want to do now, because we're wrapping it up, is I want to pull a card, and I want to say absolutely 100%, I concur with you that dark and light are two hands of divinity. They're the left and the right hands of God. And remember, every sunset is going to evolve into every dawn. And as we go through this equinox, when we're in the equal balancing, we at our 0 point, we come back to our starry nature. And I have the StarSeed Oracle deck here, which is Rebecca Campbell. And I pulled a card here. And whoops, this has the pyramids on it, which our body, when we meditate, sits in the shape of a pyramid. And this is star ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, and looking deeper. Look at that, hidden secrets,
Yeah.
lost wisdom, and look a little deeper. And that's what
Yes.
this world is asking us to do, is look deeper within ourselves. And so I'm going to read this to wrap up the clip. And so the ancients knew much more than we do about our connection with the stars. The pyramids, I'll put this little card up here. The pyramids, the temples, and other places of worship created the precise alignment with the star, existing in the corners of the cosmos and the corners of the world. What if the ancient wisdom is available for you to uncover right now? You are being called to think and to listen with your ancient heart and your ancient soul, to tap into the part of you that remembers and knows. All ancient secrets are whispered forever in your ears. All mystic knowing blossoms in your heart. All potent power pumps through your very veins. You're being invited to step into your ancient knowingness, to be held by the rememberings of your star ancestors. Look a little bit deeper. If you're feeling stuck, you're being called now to do something different, to change your point of view. Creativity happens when you put together two things that might not belong. When we do this, the unexpected is born. So often, the creative solution is right in front of us, but because we think the same thoughts and act the same ways, we might miss this opening. You are here to remember to uncover the ancient secrets and transmissions, the technology and the wisdom that are so needed right now on this planet to unlock your soul's memories and the time when we had lived in a harmony on this earth. This day will again resurface. So it says Starseed activation. Place this card on a portal on your heart and whisper the following. I'm ready to remember the ancient mysteries and the secrets that are deep within me. I'm ready. Ready?
Wow.
Ready?
I am ready. That's such an appropriate card because to me, it's all about the ancients were astrologers and they connected and aligned with the wisdom of the stars and what we have lost. And I want to say one thing before we get off. That for a long time I've been wanting to get my presence on the internet, and now I now literally have to be pushed to do
You're
that.
Forced. You're forced to do it now.
Yeah, I'm not forced. I've been working on my website, so I'm going to be finishing that. But what I am going to do in the next week is I have more invitations to come on, programs like yours, and I'm going to be offering a program for women because I see women as the holographic creators of the universe, and we are connected to the holographic universal womb. So women come together and they create a net of light that creates new patterns for our humanity. I want women to reconnect to the creativity of the universal flow of the womb, because all of creation comes through a woman's womb. And when women gather together and we dream a new dream, miracles happen.
Miracles.
It's not
That's true. Yeah.
And then the masculine, which we're healing, the masculine that's been distorted into war and greed and all that. It's the distorted masculine. But the divine masculine supports the feminine. It brings form to those dreams that women dream together when they used to get together in teepees and tents. Women came together to tap into the holographic womb of creation. And as women right now, we need to reconnect to our womb, clear it of the distortions, but also come together to weave a new dream, because it's in our coming together to nurture what right now is beginning to sprout, the new earth. The Aquarian age of the golden era. We're at the precipice of it. And boy, it's exciting, scary. We're in a wild ride. And this is why we all came to this earth. We are the ones that the earth has been waiting for. and we're here.
What is your website? It has something to do with Journey of the Stars?
No. I have several websites, but one is StarJourneyAstrology.com. Then the website that I'm launching is LetiStiles.com. My name.
So they can get a hold of you with LetiStiles.com. And
not yet. It's in process. And then I have Get Motivated to Change.
Okay. Let's just say the first one again, because let's just give them one to really think about.
Star Journey Astrology.
Journey Astrology. And that's where they can get their evolutionary astrology chart, where you can basically look at the south node, which is where they're coming from, the past lifetimes, and the north node is where they need to focus with their soul purpose on this lifetime. Right. And for me, I have Ask Athena. So my birth name is Tina. She's called me Tina because she's known me for 20 years. But actually, I go by Athena. So it's Ask Athena Intuitive Readings. And Athena was a Greek name that I was given when I went to Greek school, and also a name that I had done some automatic writing. They confirmed. And it's more of a spirit name because it's an archetype. Athena, like Sophia, brings wisdom. And so with these new star beings coming in, they want me to start channeling on Monday nights to do starseed transmissions. And it's about the change and the light workers that are bringing forth this glorious change. The main message is it's coming through the artists, the painters, the poets, the dreamers. So you light workers out there, we love you so very much. Thank you. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, and let me also know what other things you'd like me to channel on, because I do a lot of videos, and if you just send me a note, I will channel on the subject that you are interested in. And then Monday night, if you want to tune in, I'll also have things on Facebook Live that'll show you how to get to the Zoom call on Monday night. Thank you, Leti.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you, love. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Blessings and light.